Now coming to the focus group. So there was another method you people wrote also in the chat box that apart from the in-depth interview, this focus group is another way of data collection in qualitative research. And in this case, generally you will see that when we do the focus group, when is the requirement of a focus group discussion, and when is the IDI? So IDI you have read now. So can someone unmute and answer or type in the chat box whatever way you feel like answering? When we do the focus group or when it is a method of choice as a method of data collection?
I think when we need to do a research qualitative in a particular group of institute, like focus to a particular entity or particular factor, or the people related to particular field. So we need to have that focus group, which includes all the criteria, the inclusion criteria. So they should, I think, in those kind of researches, we need to have a focus group.
You mean to say like some specialized group or some?
Yeah, like among cardiologists, all the cardiologists need to be, grouped up. All among residents, like the way we have done the interview questions, it was a focus group. The doctors were the focus group of the society, and that particular group was given the yeah, they were the inclusion, they were the included in the sampling or the collection of the data. I think. That is need to be the focus group.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pranav. Anybody would like to add to this comment? So Dr. Poonam is writing group sharing common background. Okay. Yes, anybody would like to add to this discussion?
Ma'am, like regarding ideas about those aspects, what's their idea, knowledge, or assumptions regarding those topics, what we are about to take those research questions?
Okay.
Belonging to same ethnicity, same ethnic group, or same geographical area, or same caste, tribe. I think that kind of group is also considered as focus group.
Okay, so some homogeneous group and any other prerequisite where you have to really go for this only and not the in-depth interview. Any situation where generally you can do both, except for some sensitive issues. Like we always say, like if the issues is very sensitive, then you should not do a focus group because the other person might not feel that much relaxed in front of the other person sharing some some intimate things or some very important concerns of his life. So that is one way regarding, that is one prerequisite, that if the issue is very sensitive and if the participant doesn't like to be identified or doesn't like to be sharing it in the group, then you cannot group. But again, if you want, if the group consensus is required on something, anything where you require a opinion of a group, then definitely. So usually it is very much advocated for some policy decisions, effect of some program evaluation. For all those things, it is very helpful, this focus group. So we'll see definitely. But again, wherever this group opinion is required on anything, then this focus group is an important tool of data collection. So like in this case, you can see the various questions. So why do people opt for treatment in any specific hospital? So here a group opinion is required. Like especially if you see here, it is there with all the major hospitals. The cluster which is living very close to that hospital, be it AIIMS Delhi, be it AIIMS Patna, or any tertiary care hospital, the people who are living very nearby, they will not come, or they don't want to go to that particular hospital. So why they are not coming to that particular hospital? It is a group opinion. So in that case, you can have a focus group discussion. And focus group discussion is time saving. In case of an idea, you may have to take like 16 or 18. So we will talk about the sampling issues we have talked also regarding the sampling, like when do we call it as a saturation, like in the consecutive 3 interview, if you are not finding anything different or if the same codes are getting repeated, then the saturation has reached. So with focus group discussion, a good 4 to 5 FGD can also serve the purpose. So definitely it saves the time. And then again, the second thing, it is used very commonly in marketing, because marketing and corporate sector, again, the user, to understand the customer perspective, to understand the user perspective, it is commonly done. The second could be like, why do people choose any treatment option? Why do people get impatient in hospital? In medical education, you can also use this focus group, like how do first year student gets adjusted in hostel life? Or what are the barriers in accessing healthcare for an autistic children? How do residents cope up their stress? How family decide about availing treatment for childhood diseases? So these are the group opinion. So all these research questions where you want to have opinion, then you will go for this focus group. So focus group can be a method of choice for data collection if you want to know the nature of people preference or a thought in a group. So FGD is all about group opinion, and like I've said, that it is basically used most commonly in case of a program evaluation, in utilization of services, or in medical education, where you want to have a group opinion of medical students, whether the PG postgraduate students or undergraduate students or any maybe PhD students. So such group opinion matters. In that case, it is always good to conduct FGD rather than the in-depth interview. So like need assessment, curriculum development, which curriculum, which assessment pattern is to be incorporated, which topic is to be included, which all topics should not be there. So all these are the group consensus. Again, for program evaluation, like if you want to have some user perspective of Anemia Mukt Bharat, then again you can use a focused group discussion. So just see this slide for 5 seconds and comment on the interaction. And 2 type of group interview which is there. So in the first and in the second, what is the difference between these two? So first one, no discussion. First one is IDI, second is FGD. First one is personal interview, multimodal second type. So yes, can anyone unmute and answer this, like maybe a little bit in detail, what you can see? Dr. Pragya, can you describe these 2 pictures?
Yes, ma'am. In the first one, the interviewer is asking the questions to the participants and take the responses. But in the second one, the interviewer is also asking the participants, and there is the interactions among the participants. And then he takes some responses from all these things.
Okay, so so much. Yes, you are very right. So what is the method of data collection in case of the first picture?
Ma'am, it is the group interview.
Yes, very right. And what is the second?
FGD.
FGD. So rightly said, the first one is the group interview. So group interview is like the moderator or the interviewer, like you can see here, he is interacting one by one to all the people. It's a group interview. Whereas in this focus group discussion, you can see the discussion among each other across the table, across it, and maybe alongside also. So this is a focus group discussion and this is a group interview. So both are method of data collection, but definitely this focus group interview, that is a better way of data collection, because here at the last the group makes a consensus. The group make a consensus regarding that particular research question which has been asked to them, and then the group the interview, I mean the FGD ends with some message or some group opinion. So now why to do a FGD? So FGD, when you know, as a supplementary source of when you want to supplement the data. I said that minimum of 4 FGD is needed. So whenever you want to develop, you have to develop a questionnaire and you don't have any tool regarding pre-existing tool. So for that, you can do a FGD and you can get the response of the people, and then you can form the questionnaire. So just to develop a survey question also, you can have a FGD in the beginning. Or if you want to validate the finding of a quantitative research as a form of the explanatory, where you did first the quantitative and now you want to do a qualitative. So to explain that finding of your quantitative research, you can do a focus group discussion. And you can also do it as a part of the multi-method qualitative research. Like we talked about the triangulation of methods, where you will have maybe observation, you have this FGD, you have this IDI. So if you want to use more than one data collection method as a part of the multi-method qualitative study, then also you can have this in FGD in your tool. So what is not a focus? So see these 3 situations. In the first picture, you will see here, the moderator is talking only to one person. This is not a focus group. Here also, moderator is talking to more than one person. But again, if you see these two people are not talking. So few people are dominating in this discussion. That is not a focus group. Again, here everyone is talking, but there is no group interaction. Like they're not talking with each other. All of them are talking to the moderator. So this is also not a focus group. So in all these 3 pictures, it is not a focus group. So in the focus group, the researcher adopts the peripheral role as a moderator or as a facilitator. And in that case, intra-group dynamics of the participant plays an important role. Whereas in group interview, the researcher adopts the investigative role and the researcher controls the dynamics of the group. So that is the basic difference between a focus group and a group. So in case of a focus group, like IDI, here also we do a purposive type of sampling. So we recruit those people whom we know that they are somehow related to that particular research question, or who can answer well and can respond well and who are willing to participate. So this is a type of purposive sampling. And again, the moderator and facilitator, the main role, what is the main role of the moderator? So the moderator keeps the members on track, because there might be instances when the members, they deviate from the topic and they start talking something else. So the moderator will bring them back to the main research question. Moderator will encourage all participants to speak. And then obviously this time is an important check. So he should have a check over the time and he will have to cover all the questions. So like IDI in focus group also, it's 2 people are there. One person is actively taking the interview and the second person is taking the notes, is maintaining the recorder, and he helps the main moderator to remember any questions or to cover any left out questions. So there should be prior planning of conducting the FGD, like you do in the interview, in-depth interview also. So you have to identify the participants. You have to recruit the participants. In case of a recruitment, you should always recruit more number of participants, because on the day of focus group, generally it happens that if you have recruited 12 people, only 7 or 8 people turned up, and rest 5 of them, they could not come because of the XYZ reason. So that's why you should recruit more number than the required one. The number in the focus group usually ranges from the 6 to 12 participants. It should not be more than 12, because then there will be problems, and then in intra-group interaction between people, it is not that strong. So that's why too many people should not be there, and too less also should not be there. Then arrangement, you have to arrange for a venue, you have to arrange for the logistic, because conducting FGD is a little challenging task, especially in the field. We have also tried it for many of our projects, and we have experienced that especially in the primary health center or in the district hospital, conducting an FGD is difficult than the conducting IDI. You have, in the arrangement of logistic, you have to arrange the snacks also, some refreshments you have to arrange. Then you generally give them some remuneration also, depending on the budget of your project, because they are sparing their time to participate in your FGD. Again, you have to identify a place. You have to sit on their same level. Means if everyone is sitting on the floor, you also have to sit on the floor. If you are sitting on the chair, you will offer everyone to sit on the chair. So that's why we when we conducted the FGD of that effect of alcohol ban in Bihar, then because we conducted that in the periphery and usually in the villages, so we all of us were sitting on the floor, and then we conducted that FGD. And obviously the interview guide is important for this also, like you have drafted for the in-depth interview. Similarly, there should be interview guide for the FGD also. The guidelines are same and the technique is same, the way you have developed the interview guide for the in-depth interview. So recording, obviously the same concept is applicable here also, that consent beforehand that you are going to record it. And if they give permission for video recording, that is the best. But because of the direct identifier or fear of being identified, people generally, they don't give consent for video recording. So in that case, audio recording and notes, they are sufficient. But in Western culture, you will see that people give the permission for their video recording also. So video recording is the best choice, and if possible, transcription is easy, because then you can code the non-verbal part also, you can see, and you can put that also, that non-verbal part. And but if it is not there, then you can do the audio recording plus notes taking. So you have to observe a few important things about conducting this FGD. So the first and very important part is the welcome and introduction to the topic. Like this you do in the IDI also, but here since the number of people are more, so it takes a little more time, and you do a formal introduction of the participant with each other also, because ultimately it's the group opinion which matters at the last. So the participants should feel comfortable with each other. Tell them about the background of the topic. You will set some ground rules. Now, what are these ground rules? You will ask them not to interrupt in between. You will ask them to put their mobile phone in the silent mode. And then again, you have to set a ground rule that if one person is talking, the other person should wait for that talk to get over. So these things should be there as a ground rule. And then you will start with your opening questions. So here also, like the interview guide, you have seen that there are some opening questions, then there are the middle part where you start with the broad topic and then you come to the specific question. And then at the last, it is the closing questions. So now watch this video of this in this focus group discussion, and the way you put your point in the previous two videos, similarly, you have to summarize also and the salient points which you have observed. In this case, there is only one video, and just you have to come up with all those points, like whether positive or negative, whatever you observe. Okay.
The moderator is about to begin the actual focus group. This introduction is short and snappy and covers 4 points. A welcome and introduction to the topic, some background on the topic, ground rules for the focus group, and the opening question.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to our session. My name is Dick Kruger and I'm with the Happy Traveler Research Agency. And we're pleased you could all join us today for our focus group. We've invited you to join our discussion on airline travel. Today, we're going to be talking about experiences that you've had in traveling by airplane. Experiences that within the last few years. We're going to be talking about things that have worked well for you, things you've enjoyed, as well as things that haven't gone so well. This study is being done at the request of the airline industry. As you may know, people have had a variety of experiences, and airline industries regularly are trying to improve the quality of their service. And so at the end of our study, we're going to be sharing information back with them. Also, if you're interested, we'll have a copy of the report available to you as well. Let us know if that's something that you're interested in. You were selected because you were among a group of people who have traveled fairly often over the past few years, and we're glad you're here for our group. As I indicated, my name is Dick Kruger. I'm with the Happy Traveler Research Agency, and my colleague is Mary Ann Casey, and she'll be taking notes and helping record the conversation. We're going to be tape recording today. We have a microphone in the middle of the room, and then we tape record so we don't miss any of the comments. Oftentimes people say things so well, we're not able to write them down quickly enough, and the tape recorder helps us capture those. There's just a couple ground rules that might help us. If you have a cell phone, we'd appreciate if you'd turn it off or turn it on the quiet mode. If you do need to respond to it, please step out, but then come back in as soon as possible. We have more refreshments and some chocolate over there on the side table, so help yourself to that whenever you feel a need for those things. There are no wrong answers today in our conversation. Many people have different experiences with airline travel, and so feel free to comment even if your thoughts and ideas or experiences are different from what others have to say. My job is to guide the conversation and to keep us on time and be sure that we finish at the end of our allotted 2 hours today. And so along the way, I may interrupt, I may push us along a little bit faster. That's so that we can finish our conversation on. Well, let's take a moment. Also, by the way, we're going to be on a first name basis. We have name tents with our first names on. Let's take a moment and go around the table and find out who you are, and would you tell us your name, and then also tell us where you've traveled to by airplane in the last year, and would you name some of the cities that you've traveled to, and would you start?
I'm Jim Brown, and in the last year I've traveled.
At the beginning of a focus group, most comments are directed directly to the moderator. But as the focus group continues, the moderator will try to get people to look across the table and speak to the other participants. This is a good sign and something to be desired in your focus groups. One of the effective techniques of moderating is to use a short pause, usually about 5 seconds. This allows participants a chance to reflect and think and a chance to express their thoughts.
Okay, well, let's get started with the questions in our focus group. The first one, and we're not going to go around the table, and anyone can answer this who chooses. Tell me this. What do you like about airline travel?
Oh, I can start, Dick. I like that it gets me between two places relatively quickly.
When moderating a focus group, you'll find that some people talk too much and ramble on about a topic, and you'll need to have a strategy for how to deal with this. Here's an example of what you do when a person talks too much and how the moderator redirects the question to another participant.
All right, well, let's talk about inconveniences. In your experiences with airline travel, you may have encountered an inconvenience. May have been in the last year or a little bit before. Would you tell me about an inconvenience you've had?
Well, let me tell you, it's always around baggage, and it seems to me that there's always something that happens with my baggage when I travel. I was coming back from Bangkok. I was meant to get my baggage in LA to take it through immigration, and when I got there, couldn't find it anywhere. It just wasn't there, and I stood there and stood there and stood there, and I went behind the counter to the counter, and they said, well, you know, it's just not there, and in Chile, and maybe it'll turn up in Minneapolis. But it's just been one long string of things after another. I mean, the baggage is always too large to fit in the overhead bin, but it's even worse when you're traveling by train, because when you're traveling by train, you have to get the baggage up from the platform, and then you have to haul it into the coach, and then you're pulling it all the way down the coach in order to get to your seat on the train, and there's never anyone there to help.
Yeah, that can be a problem. Let's hear from some others in the group. Francis, how about you? Have you had an experience with an inconvenience?
Well, I haven't had a problem with luggage because I always...
Sometimes participants do not talk very much in a focus group. One of the strategies that moderators can use is to look at those individuals and at times call on them and invite their comments. Here's an example of how it works.
Sherry, we haven't heard from you on this. What are the things that you don't like about airline travel?
Well, mostly two things, luggage and children.
Tell me about each of those. Tell me about luggage and tell me about children.
Well, with luggage, you never know if they're going to accept your carry-on or not. In some airlines, even in the same airline, sometimes the carry-on fits. They say it will fit in the overhead, and other times they take it away from me, and then I have to check it. So even though I think it's standard size, sometimes it doesn't.
One of the things that happens in a focus group is there are key moments when people start to own the group or feel like they are a group and in a discussion. Here's an example. When these things occur, moderators often encourage these and allow people to talk across the table to each other.
All right.
You know, I want to say something else about luggage, and it relates to when planes are late. You never know if your bags will make it. And sometimes it's not your fault. You've checked it. You've done what you're supposed to do, and then they mess it up, and then you get there. You don't have, so I carry now a lot of things in my carry-on because I just have to assume it won't make it. I never check anything. I always carry on. Never check it. Because you just can't never trust it.
So, so what did you observe in this video? Although all those salient points in this video, it was a constant mentioning of all those salient points, but still, can perfect example of FGD? Yes, thank you. I mean, although we could not do it, initially we got FGD done through our resident to show it on this platform, but somehow we could not show it. I felt like group interview. Maybe initially it was actually any FGD. The initial part, if you see, it starts like a group interview because everyone is looking at the moderator, and now moderator is talking to everyone. So initially any FGD, because the moment you start FGD, the participant will not start interacting. It takes some time, but again, you are right. Initial part, it was like a group interview, but it ended like an FGD, and that's the natural process FGD goes. Initially in FGD also, it is like group interview. and during the later part, there is a more of interaction between the participants. Anyone else would like to add something?
The moderator is about to begin.
So all 4 points of an ideal FGD consisted, yes, you are right. So he has included all the points which in ideal FGD, and we must have seen how he used that few seconds to interrupt and make that lady come back to the main point where she was talking too much regarding the baggage and regarding the negativity of that airline industry. So that should be the role of the moderator. You should find that gap in the participant response if someone is talking too much. So you cannot interrupt him then and there. So you just utilize few seconds gap if the participant has given you, and then in that gap, you can direct this question to some other participant so that some other participant should start speaking. So moderator, the do's are for the moderator that you should open the session with the fun, generally because that breaks the ice and the participants start discussion among themselves. Then you have to balance the participation, and then you have to redirect the discussion, and you have to keep on checking with the participants. The don'ts, the list of don'ts are very much, you don't have to read the script question verbatim, you don't have to make assumptions, don't allow 2 people or the 3 people to dominate the discussion. Even if it is happening, you have to encourage other person who is not talking. You don't have to permit the side discussion, or you don't have to take any challenge or any side. So you have to keep yourself non-judgmental and avoid being side of anyone, either through your verbal or your non-verbal tones. So that is a very important aspect of the moderator, that you should be neutral while you are moderating the FGD. And you should never share your self-opinion, because that's not the platform where you will share your personal opinion or self-opinion on that particular topic. You have to extract the group opinion out of that focus group discussion. You are not a part of that discussion. So don't consider yourself, because we have seen many times that the moderator, they become the part of the focus group discussion. So you don't have to be a part of that FGD. You only have to moderate it. So keep yourself at a neutral position. Only moderate the FGD. Don't give your opinion, and don't take side of anyone, because all these are biases of the FGD where you will not get a neutral FGD. So again, those ground rules we have talked about that. So these are some challenges. So I think we can skip this, because now we'll come to the transcript.